Life, in its essence, is not a straight road, nor a mountain to conquer. It is more like a quiet river that flows according to its own rhythm, sometimes calm, sometimes rough, sometimes almost still. The Javanese people have long understood this truth through a simple yet profound saying, Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. It means that life is a matter of perception, a reflection seen from different angles. What looks bright to one may appear dim to another. What seems easy from afar might actually be a silent struggle within. And in that awareness, the Javanese find wisdom that no one's life can ever be fully known or fairly compared. To live is to see and to be seen. Yet the Javanese remind us that what we see is never the whole truth. The surface may shine, but the depth may hold storms. A smile may conceal fatigue. A calm face may hide a heart full of prayers. Sawang-Sinawang teaches us to look beyond appearances, to understand that life is layered with unseen meanings. It whispers that envy is a shadow, and comparison a mirror that lies, because every soul carries its own burden, and every destiny unfolds at its own pace. In the heart of Javanese philosophy lies a quiet kind of spirituality, one that is not about grand rituals or loud declarations of faith, but about inner balance, humility, and the constant remembrance of Songyang Wivi, the divine presence. The Javanese believe that to understand life, one must first understand the self, for the world outside is but a reflection of the world within. They say, Sapa nirti awake deve, bakal nirti jaga diki. He who knows himself will understand the universe. Modern life, however, has made many forget this simple wisdom. People chase success as if it were a prize, not a process. They measure happiness through comparison, forgetting that peace cannot be seen by the eye, only felt by the heart. In the race to prove who is more blessed, more accomplished, more loved, many lose the meaning of being alive. They forget that every story has its own rhythm, every soul its own season. What you see as a delay in your life may actually be divine timing, and what seems like someone else's blessing might actually be their heaviest test. The Javanese approach life with grace and patience. They see every joy and sorrow as part of the same fabric woven by unseen hands. When rain falls too early or too late, they do not curse the sky. They wait, trusting that nature knows best. The same applies to destiny. There is no need to rush what is meant to bloom in its own time. They say, Alon alon waton kelakon, as slowly as it goes. This is not an excuse for laziness, but a reflection of faith, the understanding that speed means nothing without harmony. In the Javanese way of life, patience, sabar, acceptance, nrima, and awareness, eling, are three pillars of spiritual maturity. Sabar teaches the heart to stay calm in uncertainty. Nrima teaches the soul to accept what cannot be changed, not with defeat, but with dignity. And eling teaches the mind to stay aware that all things come from God, and to Him all will return. These virtues are not spoken loudly, but lived quietly, through acts of humility, compassion, and restraint. Sawang-Sinawang is not merely a saying. It is a philosophy that shapes how the Javanese see themselves and the world. It invites them to stop judging, to stop comparing, to stop pretending that life must look the same for everyone. It is an invitation to return inward, to listen to the voice within that says, "This is your path. Walk it with grace." Because when you understand that everyone walks under different skies, you stop envying their sunshine and start tending your own soil. To the Javanese, peace is not found in having everything, but in knowing enough. Cukup, enough, is a sacred word. It means to live with balance, neither too high nor too low, neither too proud nor too desperate. To be enough is to realize that you already have what is necessary for your soul's growth. The rest, wealth, recognition, validation, are just passing clouds. When you stop chasing them, the sky becomes clear again. In this understanding, life becomes softer. You no longer need to compete because you see that the world is not a race, but a dance. Each person moves to a different rhythm. Each step carries its own beauty. The Javanese see success not as reaching the top, but as walking the path with sincerity. They believe that what truly matters is not how much you achieve, but how peacefully you live while trying. And so, Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang becomes a mirror of the soul, reminding us that life's truth cannot be found in what others say or show, but in how we see ourselves in silence. It is not about comparing shadows, but about finding light in our own darkness. It is about learning that happiness is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to stay grateful even within it. To live by this wisdom is to live slowly, intentionally, and humbly. It is to wake each morning with a heart that no longer asks, "Why not me?" but softly whispers, "My time will come." Because it will. It always does. The river of life flows for everyone, sometimes winding, sometimes still, but it always reaches the sea. In that acceptance lies peace. In that peace lies wisdom. And in that wisdom, the Javanese have long found what the world keeps searching for: a calm heart, a quiet soul, and a life that no longer needs to compare because it has already understood. Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. Life is simply how you choose to see it. Chapter 1. The Mirror of Perception. In the Javanese way of life, there is a saying that holds deep wisdom. Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. Life is about how you see and are seen. It reminds us that what we call truth is often a reflection of where we stand. Just as a mountain looks small from afar, but immense when we stand at its foot, so too does life change shape depending on the eyes that look at it. The Javanese do not see life as fixed, but as fluid, as something that dances between rasa and nalar. When someone looks at another's life and thinks, "He is happier than I am," what they see is only a small fragment of reality. What glitters in one place might be the same thing someone else is praying to escape from. The essence of Sawang-Sinawang teaches us to pause before we judge, not only others, but also our own fate. Because life is not about who has more, but who understands enough. The elders used to say, "Adja mung delang kambange, ning delingan godonge uga." Do not only see the flower, see the leaves too. Beauty can deceive if we do not learn to look deeper. Many people chase after things that look beautiful, but bring them further from peace. They collect wealth, but lose sleep. They seek love, but forget sincerity. They want to be understood, but rarely take time to understand. The Javanese path of wisdom teaches that happiness is not a result of what we have, but of how our heart rests within what we live through. In the modern world, it is easy to fall into comparison. Social media has become like a stage where everyone performs their best moments. We scroll through images, thinking others live better, forgetting that behind every smiling face, there are also nights of silence and prayers never told. Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. Life is a reflection of what you choose to see. When your eyes look outward, you might see luck or misfortune. But when your eyes turn inward, you begin to see acceptance. There is a quiet wisdom in the Javanese way of seeing. Not everything you envy is truly desirable, and not everything you endure is truly a burden. Sometimes what looks like loss is protection. Sometimes what feels like delay is grace. The Javanese learn to trust that what comes to them has its own reason, even if the reason is hidden behind mist. They call it Urip Iku Gusti. Life is a trust from God. When you understand that, comparison loses its power and gratitude takes its place. The Javanese heart values balance, pata tentram lan rahayu, harmony and peace. Comparison disturbs that balance because it keeps the mind restless. One who constantly compares is like a traveler who never unpacks, always moving from one desire to another, never finding home. But the one who learns to see with rasa finds peace even in simplicity. They realize that joy and sorrow are not opposites, but partners in shaping the soul's maturity. The lesson of Sawang-Sinawang is not merely a proverb. It is a path of humility, a reminder that life's beauty lies not in competing, but in comprehending, in realizing that everyone's journey is crafted with divine care, even if the road looks different. The Javanese soul learns to say, Samenko wae, ora perlu kebak banding. For now, it is enough. There's no need for endless comparison. When you begin to live with that awareness, you find peace not because life becomes easier, but because your heart becomes wiser. You stop asking, why is my life not like theirs? And begin whispering, thank you for this life that is mine. That is how Sawang-Sinawang becomes not just a saying, but a way of seeing. One that softens pride, quiets envy, and brings the heart closer to harmony. For in the end, what truly matters is not how the world sees you, but how your soul sees the world.
Chapter 2. The Hidden Weight of Desire. In the journey of life, the Javanese believe that longing is both a guide and a test. Kapaninan iku kahanan sing alus nangingabot. Desire is a subtle yet heavy condition. It pulls the soul forward, but can also chain it to restlessness. When a person begins to compare their fate with another's, desire quietly awakens, not always for what they truly need, but for what they think they lack. And that is when peace begins to fade. The Javanese way teaches that every desire carries its own beban rasa, a weight upon the heart. You may get what you want, but every gain has its shadow. The rich man desires column nights. The poor man desires full plates. The lonely heart wishes for company, while the crowded soul longs for solitude. The farmer looks at the merchant's wealth with wonder, while the merchant envies the farmer's sleep. Life then becomes a circle of longing, each one staring at another's portion, unaware that their own has been shaped by Destiny's gentle hands. The elders used to whisper, Sapa ngerti sing katon enag, sejatine abot. Who knows, what seems easy may actually be heavy. This saying teaches compassion, not only towards others, but towards oneself. It reminds us that life cannot be weighed with the same scale, for everyone's path is drawn with different ink. The rain that blesses one field might flood another. So what looks like luck in someone else's life might be the same thing that tests their strength. In the Javanese understanding, contentment is not the absence of desire, but the mastery of it. To live with nrima in pandum means to accept one's portion without resentment, trusting that what is given holds meaning. It is not passivity, it is surrender guided by wisdom. When you stop struggling against what you don't have, you begin to see the richness of what you do. That is why the Javanese often say, "Sing tukup ora saka jumla, nanging saka rasa." Enoughness is not about quantity, but about feeling. The modern world rarely teaches this. It tells us to compete, to climb higher, to never be satisfied. But the more we chase, the further peace slips away. The Javanese, with their quiet insight, understand that life is not a race, it is a rhythm. If you rush, you lose the music. That is why the elders often walk slowly, speak softly, and act thoughtfully. Their slowness is not laziness, but harmony. Alon alon waton kalakon, slow but certain. When the heart is filled with comparison, even blessings feel insufficient. But when the heart learns acceptance, even small things bring joy. Imagine a cup of tea at dawn. To one who chases the world, it is nothing. But to one who lives with rasa syukur, it is a gift of peace. The same moment, different eyes. Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. There is a story told in old Javanese villages. A man once complained to his teacher that his life was hard and that others seemed happier. The teacher handed him a handful of sand and told him to hold it tightly. The more the man gripped, the more the sand slipped away. Then the teacher said, "Life is like this. The tighter you cling to what others have, the less you keep of your own." The man opened his hand, letting the sand rest gently. The grains stayed still. "Now," the teacher said, "this is how peace feels. When you stop comparing, you stop losing yourself." The Javanese see comparison as a thief of rasa tentrem, inner calm. It distracts the soul from gratitude and blinds it to the quiet beauty of the present. When we compare, we forget that our journey has its own sacred timing. A fruit ripens not by wishing, but by enduring the sun and rain. So too does our fate. Wayahe dewe. It has its time. Sometimes it takes loss to awaken this truth. Only when something is gone do we realize that it was never small. The Javanese understand this deeply. They mourn quietly, but in their silence lies acceptance. They do not shout at fate, they whisper prayers instead. For they know, sing ilang, ora musti ilang saktenane. What is lost is not always truly gone. Sometimes it transforms, returns, or teaches. In the heart of every Javanese teaching lies the art of balance between wanting and letting go, between striving and surrender. Too much wanting burns the soul. Too much surrender dims the fire of life. Wisdom is to walk in between with awareness. Ngarti kapan kudu nyekel, kapan kudu ngechulke. Know when to hold on and when to release. That is how the spirit remains whole. When you stop measuring your life by others, you begin to see its real worth. The laughter shared with family, the shade under a tree, the peace after prayer. These are not small things. They are fragments of divine grace, easily overlooked when the eyes are fixed outward. The Javanese call this Urip Iku Prasadja, a simple life, not poor, not lacking, simply full in its own quiet way. And so the teaching continues. If you compare, you suffer. If you understand, you rest. The world will always have someone ahead of you and someone behind, but no one can walk your path the way you can. The journey was carved for you alone. Thus, the wisdom of Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang deepens. It is not only a reminder to stop comparing, but an invitation to start perceiving differently. To look not at what glitters, but what grounds. to desire not more things, but more meaning, to trust not the speed of your journey, but the direction of your heart. When the Javanese say, Tansa eling lan waspada, always remember and stay aware, they speak of this, to stay awake in gratitude, to be gentle with longing, and to carry peace wherever you stand. For life, when seen rightly, is never unfair. It simply mirrors what you are ready to understand.
Chapter 3: Seeing Beyond Appearances. The deeper the Javanese soul travels through life, the more it realizes that truth is never on the surface. The eyes see forms, but the heart feels meaning. What appears as success, failure, wealth, or loss are only clothes that destiny wears for a while. Beneath those layers lies the same essence, Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. Life is but a brief stop to drink before continuing the eternal journey. The true task of a person is not to collect appearances, but to perceive the unseen harmony that connects them. To live in comparison is to live on the surface. It is like watching the shadow of a tree and mistaking it for the tree itself. You can count its branches, but you will never touch its roots. The Javanese way of seeing, the Lo Ngangoroso, teaches that the world cannot be understood by sight alone. It must be felt quietly through the sensitivity of the heart. The heart knows what the eyes cannot. A Javanese elder once said, Ramo ngelmu sing dadi cahyo, nanging rosso sing dadi papadang. It is not knowledge that brings light, but feeling that becomes illumination. This saying reveals that wisdom does not come from books or speech, but from the depth of understanding born in silence. When one stops comparing and begins to truly feel, the heart becomes clear. And in that clarity, one sees life not as a competition, but as a dance between gain and loss, joy and sorrow, each step necessary, each turn meaningful. There is a sacred calm in realizing that everyone carries their own unseen burden. The one you envy may carry a wound you cannot see. The one you pity may hold a strength you cannot imagine. The one who seems far ahead may also be lost, and the one behind may be quietly arriving at peace. The Javanese understanding of life is built upon this humility. Saben uang duwe laku uripe dewe-dewe. Every person walks their own spiritual journey. In this awareness, comparison begins to fade. You start to see that life's design is not about fairness, but about growth. A tree does not envy another tree. It simply grows where it is planted. So too must the soul. Your soil may be rocky, another's may be rich, but your roots will find water if you trust the ground beneath you. That is what the Javanese mean when they say, Gone dewe dewe wis ono singator. Each place, each person is already arranged by the divine. Many people live their entire lives trying to prove something, that they are worthy, successful, happy. But the Javanese way invites a different kind of achievement, kasunyatan, the awakening of truth within oneself. When you understand who you truly are, you no longer need to prove it. The calm of that realization is deeper than any applause the world can give. Silence becomes the teacher then. Menang ora atakis ora ngerti. Being silent does not mean ignorance. In silence, the Javanese seek alignment with nature, with others, with God. They believe that peace does not come from changing the world,
but from understanding its rhythm. Like the sound of a gamelan, life becomes harmonious not when every instrument is the same, but when each plays its part with awareness. The act of comparison, then, is like playing off-key. It disturbs the natural harmony of your being. The moment you envy another, you lose the tone of your own soul. To find it again, you must listen inward. You must rediscover your own rhythm. That is the meaning of Nyelmuroso, the knowledge of the heart that cannot be written, only lived. One who lives with this awareness begins to see beauty in what once felt ordinary. The sound of rain, the warmth of shared laughter, the smell of soil after harvest, all become signs of divine presence. This is Urip Iku, a life in unity where separation between joy and pain dissolves. You no longer see life as better or worse, but as whole. Every event becomes a verse in the same sacred poem. The Javanese do not seek to escape suffering. They seek to understand it, because in understanding, suffering turns into wisdom. They say, sabar iku ora mung nahan, nanging ngerti maknane. Patience is not merely endurance, but understanding its meaning. The one who can see the meaning behind hardship no longer curses fate. They whisper gratitude even in tears, because they know everything that arrives is part of what must be learned. This is the heart of Sawang-Sinawang, to stop looking through the eyes of jealousy and start seeing through the eyes of wisdom. To understand that every life has both visible and invisible parts. The visible for the world, the invisible for God. When you stop comparing, you make space for grace to enter. You no longer rush to have more. You learn to ngaso, to rest in being. And slowly, you begin to feel a different kind of wealth, the wealth of peace. The Javanese call it rahayu, a state of harmony where the heart no longer chases or resists, it simply flows. In that flow, you realize that your life, with all its imperfections, is already enough. Wish cukup, they would say with a smile. It is already enough. In this final understanding, Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang transforms from a proverb into a prayer, a way of seeing that leads the soul toward humility, gratitude, and compassion. You no longer live to be seen, but to see rightly. You no longer compete for blessings, but honor them wherever they appear. You understand that others are not rivals in destiny, but reflections of the same divine play. When you reach that awareness, the world softens. Envy turns into empathy. Restlessness becomes reverence, and your heart, once scattered in comparison, finally returns home to peace. For in the end, Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang is not about what we see outside, but about the light we allow to shine within.
The stillness that understands. When the Javanese speak of Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang, they are not describing a simple proverb about perception. They are whispering an ancient truth about the nature of the soul. Life is not measured by what we own, nor by how brightly we shine in the eyes of others. It is measured by how deeply we can see, how tenderly we can feel, and how quietly we can understand. In the stillness between moments, the Javanese fart learns to listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the subtle music of existence. There, beyond ambition and pride, lies a kind of peace that does not need to be announced.
It is the peace of rasa tentrem, the inner calm that comes when comparison ends and acceptance begins. The more one sees through the lens of Sawang-Sinawang, the more they realize that life's value is not found in competition, but in comprehension. Each chapter of this journey teaches a truth the heart must remember. In the first, we learned that perception is a mirror, that what we see in others often reflects what we seek or fear within ourselves. In the second, we discovered the hidden weight of desire, how the longing to have what others possess quietly robs us of gratitude for what is already ours. And in the third, we were reminded to look beyond appearances, to see not the masks of success or failure, but the essence that moves behind them all. Together, they form a single lesson, that peace does not come from having more, but from seeing more clearly. The Javanese have long understood that understanding is not achieved through argument, but through silence. Meneng iku dalan kango weru. Stillness is the path to seeing. In silence, the layers of illusion begin to fall away. The illusions of status, wealth, and comparison. What remains is the simple truth that every soul is walking its own road back to the same source. The paths may differ, but the destination is one. To live with rasa sejati, true feeling, is to live in alignment with that source. It means seeing blessings not as trophies, but as trusts. It means understanding that sorrow too carries meaning, and that everything that happens, both bitter and sweet, belongs to the same divine rhythm. The Javanese heart does not fight this rhythm, it flows with it. Alon alon waton kelakon. Slowly, but surely, every soul arrives at its appointed place. In the world today where speed and comparison dominate, this wisdom feels like a quiet rebellion. To choose stillness instead of reaction, gratitude instead of envy, simplicity instead of display, these are acts of courage. For they require one to see not with the eyes of the crowd, but with the eyes of the spirit. The Javanese call this gerti urip, the understanding of life, a way of being that transforms ordinary days into sacred learning. When you finally stop comparing, you begin to recognize the divine symmetry hidden in everything. The moments of gain and loss, the meetings and partings, the laughter and the silence, all are part of a greater teaching written just for you. The Javanese say, Sing dumadi ora ana sing kebeneran. Nothing happens by accident. Every breath is deliberate. Every encounter is a mirror. Every delay, a lesson. So perhaps peace is not something we find outside, but something we uncover within, the peace that has always been there, waiting beneath the noise of wanting and the shadow of comparison. When you realize this, you no longer chase what others have, for you finally understand your portion, however small it seems, is perfectly shaped for your soul's growth. The beauty of Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang lies in its humility. It invites us to soften, to stop measuring our worth by the yardstick of others, and to honor each path as sacred. It teaches that to see rightly is to see with compassion for others and for oneself. Because only through compassion can we begin to understand the vast, mysterious weave of life that connects us all. And in that understanding, the heart finally rests. The noise fades, the comparisons fall silent, and what remains is gratitude, simple, sincere, and whole. Gratitude for the life that is yours, for the lessons that shaped you, for the time that continues to unfold exactly as it should. The Javanese would call that moment Rahayu, the blessed state, when the soul is at peace, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is understood. And so the teaching closes where it began. Urip Iku Sawang-Sinawang. Life is how you see it. When you choose to see through wisdom instead of envy, through gratitude instead of lack, you will find that nothing in this world is truly missing. The world itself has been whispering all along in the language of the heart. Be still, see clearly, and know you are already home.